I'm going to do a product review here of a brand new decal sheet that just was released. It's obviously by Begemot. This is the new sheet for the what they refer to as the Mi-24BM or the Mi-35M, and it says New Life of Hind. It's sheet number 48061, and this is the 1/48 scale sheet. I'm not positive if this sheet is available in 72nd scale at this time, but I'm not going to go through each individual one, but I'll show some of the options on here, and then I'll show the actual decals themselves here. And so you get this really nice, this is a very large, very extensive, it's like over 40 aircraft sheet on here, and it's pretty massive when you unfold it. It gives you, on each of the aircraft, it gives you like a pretty limited write-up on the aircraft, because I don't know how many of these they have like a whole history on, really, because they're just kind of like service helicopters. There's nothing really too complex about them, but they do show you they will show you like when it's got the the Precedent S protection system on there, and if it's supposed to have the the flame dampeners over the exhaust, it does show you that. So when you're doing your build, like I'm assuming this is aimed at the Zvezda kit that came out, but there is a kit coming out from Trumpeter pretty soon, and I'm not sure if that Mi-35, if it if it's gonna have the Precedent S stuff on it, because on the box art I don't think it even has the flame dampeners on it, but whether it's in as an option or not, I don't know. So I think this is more aimed at the Zvezda kit, but of course it could be used for anyone really. And so we've got a few different options here, like with that gray paint scheme, and it refers to on here, it'll say like if it's heavily worn or not, but it doesn't do us much good. And on the internet, because of where I'm from, it's really impossible to find pictures of these individual aircraft, and then just going through the generic pictures and that, it's really hard to find the subjects. You kind of have to go off of imagination. Maybe you can find a video out there. The other thing is about painting this specific camouflage. I recommend using the, if you've got the Zvezda kit, and the Trumpeter one will probably be the same, but going off of the actual, the kit, how to paint it, because it shows you how when they put that protection package, you can see how they sort of put a new coat of paint over it, and it's quite a bit, contrasts the old paint, the old paint has faded so far. So I would go off of the original, not necessarily this. This just gives you the basic of what it's supposed to be like originally. So I'll go on, and you can see this is the modern paint scheme. They're all painted like this pretty strictly. There's a few stencil sticker stencils that you can get to do that specific paint scheme, but these are older aircraft here. And then we get into, as you go on, you get into some more of the more interesting aircraft. Ton of those gray ones, ton of the standard camouflage ones. So you can pick out whichever one you want to do, if you just want to do a basic one. And then you get into, once you get past all those, and again with their different levels of protection and that, you start getting into the SMO aircraft here, and there's various different ones, very interesting. Again, impossible to get information on, really. And some really quite heavily decorated ones. This one here, this one is one of the most interesting ones I found, which it's an FSB helicopter. It's not like this where it has the registration codes and everything on it, because it's actually almost a civilian type helicopter, which is quite interesting. And then we've got tons of options. for the current ongoing war there. Lots of options. And then you start getting into a few other odd ones, which this one's called the AH-2 Sabre, and it is from, I think it's the Venezuelan one. This is a Brazilian aircraft, which is quite unique. And then this one down here, it's actually in white, and it's an Azerbaijan aircraft, another unique one. So obviously you can do current, like up-to-date military service ones. Another Azerbaijan, and because there is more, yeah, Venezuelan aircraft, which are quite colorful. They'd probably be quite difficult to actually paint that one. This one is Iraqi Army, which is interesting too. And then Uzbekistan, which I'm not sure how many sheets actually would include that, so that's pretty rare. A Pakistani one, and a Kazakh Air Force one there. So you have some decent options there. And a Nigerian aircraft, the Serbian aircraft there, which is a really nice looking one too. Then you have the Mali Air Force one, and I found on the sheet, I'll go into it when we look at the actual decals themselves. It says on here something about the unknown badges on the door compartment. So there's a question mark, and I'm not really sure why they put the question marks there. They should have explained it. I don't know if it's on this sheet and I just missed it, but they don't really explain why they put a question mark on there, but it is there. And then this one here is Belarus. And the last one on there is, I think it's another, oh no, this is actually a very, very interesting helicopter. This is actually a presidential aircraft. I think they call it, it's either Marine Force 1 or Marine Force 2 or something like that, where the American president uses that helicopter. Well, this is the same idea for the Russian one, but it has a very unique package on here, and I guess the only way you could make this is if you get like a resin part or something, but it's a very interesting option you have here in this sheet. And then you get your standard markings for the rotor blades and tail rotors and all the various weapons, even bombs, which is kind of neat. And then we have all of our stencil data. So the sheet is pretty much complete. Weapons, stencil data, and whatever aircraft you're doing. And it's another one of those things when it comes to the stencils and everything, you're going to have to find out what aircraft you're doing, what stencils it uses. So we'll go into the actual decals here, which if you know Begemot's decals, then these are really not much different. They're really excellent decals, but they're very thin. So it takes kind of a little bit of getting used to, but they lay down really good, and I think they're excellent decals. So we can see here all of our various interesting ones. And if you read up on this decal here, it says it's actually aluminum adhesive tape on there, which I believe is like ducting tape, what they made the Z out of. So you could almost replace this with something if you really wanted to, like cut a piece of foil out or something. It doesn't have to be the decal. And the other thing is, I was talking about the badging that was on the door of that one helicopter. I looked through the entire sheet and I could not find it, but if you look at this here, it appears to be the like the Wagner like badge on here, and I'm assuming that's what actually should be on that door, because I know that Wagner, they're the ones that cleared ISIS out of Mali, and I would think maybe they were the pilots of that actual helicopter. It wasn't really Mali pilots. So I think that's actually what's supposed to go there, but it doesn't make it clear on the sheet if that's the case or not. And I looked at all the other helicopters and I could not find number 78. So that's just my guess. But you can see how nice the, like we don't have to make these in two pieces, which is pretty good. And then we'll go on to the next sheet here, which has our which has our rotor blades on there. So it looks like the rotor blades piece, you can see it on here, is just a complete piece that you lie over. Which, it's nice in a way because you won't get these raised at all, the lettering in that, but and we have here our danger things there, our signs, and our Brazil and Serbian markings. Really nice colors. The colors stick out. And then with our Russian stars, I guess you will have to put the blue outers on them. Like this is an old style, like Soviet star. So there's our tail markings and that. These could almost be painted, but they're there. We'll go into the, there's a number of sheets in here, so you can see how nice this sheet is. They haven't left any room at all on these pages, so you can see here all of our various ones, and obviously that's the marking for Brazil. And then I'm guessing you could mix and match some of these if you wanted to make your own aircraft. And our last sheet here, which is pretty much your stencils. And I don't know how many aircraft you can make out of this sheet. I'm not sure. You should be able to make more than one, I would think, because there's quite a number of these, but I'm not sure exactly how many you can get out of it. It's Venezuela and Iraq and our various stencils. Not sure if I can zoom on the stencils there at all because they're so tiny you can't read anything. I can't tell if they're legible or not. So that's the sheet there. And actually this sheet is I just noticed this sheet is actually different from the others. It has a different color and almost like a different sort of like texture around it, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why it has been done like that, but it is different. So this is the Begemot New Life of Hind, or the Mi-35M, what they're calling M-24BM decal sheet in 1/48 scale. And really, other than that, thank you for watching.